Hello, my name is Aiden Vargas. This is the YouTube portion of my brand application. I just want to start off by saying that I'm super grateful for the opportunity to introduce myself and share why I'm pursuing a spot in your nursing program. Nursing requires a lot of empathy, integrity, teamwork, and the ability to grow. I feel like these values are things that I have learned from work and school, as well as social life. So I'm super excited to answer your questions, and I hope I can tell you more about me and the nurse I hope to become. So question one, nurses face ethical dilemmas. Tell us about a time when you experienced a situation where a classmate or peer was engaging in unethical behavior. How did you handle this situation? So thankfully, I haven't had to deal with many unethical situations in my life before. However, one summer when I was working for a handyman business, I made pretty good friends with one of my coworkers, and one day he came to work and I could tell that something was super off with him. So I asked a different coworker for a second opinion to go see if he kind of thought the same thing, that my coworker was acting weird. And so he came back and he agreed with me. So I went to my boss and I told him kind of the situation, and I told him how I felt, that I didn't really feel comfortable working around him, and that I didn't want anyone to get hurt, and that the workspace was just kind of a bad environment, unsafe. So my boss ended up finding things that led us to believe that he was abusing substances on the job. And so even though I was super nervous to talk to my boss in the first place, I'm glad I did, because it led to a safe work environment, as well as my coworker getting the help he needed. So question two, nurses often work as part of a healthcare team. How do you work in a team environment? Tell us about the time with others. I work well in a team environment, whether it be academics or sports. I got the opportunity to be a team captain in my sports teams. I thrive in leadership opportunities, and I've always made it a point in my life to listen to everyone's input and everyone's opinions and how they feel before making decisions and things like that. Over a summer, I got a good opportunity to referee a large basketball tournament with a good refereeing crew, and we made it a point to work as a team, work with communication, and work together on things that we could do. We spent a lot of time communicating with players and coaches on how we can improve the game and what we're looking for, and us as the referees utilized timeouts a lot and half times to talk about positions and things that we could do to improve our rotations and angles. I believe that when you're working in a team, people are going to have weaknesses and people are going to have strengths, and I think it's best that you kind of put everyone in a position to succeed. So question three, share an experience where you received unexpected feedback from a supervisor or coach. What was your reaction to that feedback? My very first job I ever had was for a landscaping company, and I wanted to do so good for the company and I wanted to impress my boss. But one day he approached me and he said that I was working really slow, and that even the homeowner that we were installing the sprinkler systems for had mentioned it to him that I was working really slow. So this information kind of blindsided me at first. My feelings were a little hurt, and so I responded by asking him for ways that I could improve my speed while maintaining my quality of work. And this is something, his feedback has stuck with me my whole life. Like, I've just been able to take it everywhere I go. When I'm working, when I'm doing school, I just always think I can work more efficiently, work harder. And another thing it did for me was that I'm now able to ask questions. I ask my supervisors all kinds of questions. I ask professors a lot of questions. So I'm able to ask questions now, which is very beneficial. So question four asks, nursing requires a lot of empathy and strong communication skills. Tell us about a time when you demonstrated these qualities. During my internship at Ivanson Memorial Hospital, I worked in cardiac and pulmonary rehab for a little bit too. And one patient that we had lived 30 minutes out of town. So that led to him having time conflicts with his dialysis and his cardiac rehab. So he had to do dialysis first, actually. So one day he came up to cardiac rehab after taking dialysis, and he was on the bike, and I went to check on him, and I could tell that something was wrong. He was not feeling good. So I went and sat him down and took his blood pressure, and it was pretty alarming. This man also was a Spanish speaking man, and so he couldn't really communicate well. And I come from a primary Spanish home, so I kind of know how it is because one of my parents does not speak very good English, so I understand how frustrating it is not being able to convey your points, especially when you're sick like that. And so we knew that a roadblock would be getting him there because of the distance that he lived outside of town, but we ended up making it work after I went to my supervisor and I talked to him and told him the situation and told him that we needed to separate his dialysis and cardiac rehab to where cardiac rehab could be first. And so question 5 asks, why should we admit you over other applicants in our nursing program? So I met with my advisor my sophomore year of college, and we were kind of going over paths that I could take in college. She told me about the brand program, and immediately I knew that that was the program that I wanted to do. This was it for me. And so I was very excited about it, and I met the requirements for my bachelor's degree at the end of my junior year of college. However, I elected to retake 4 brand prerequisite classes instead, so I could improve my GPA. I had already passed the classes, but I wanted to improve my GPA for this program. So I believe I also have really good people skills. I really connect with people and make good friendships. I believe that every nurse should have some level of patient care, but I really think I can create the best environment possible for my patients. I recently had a family member admitted in the ICU. When she got back, she told us that the best part of her experience, that she had nurses around her that cared and that they made a difference in her experience, and they made a difference in her life because it's a hard time. Not only do I come equipped with physical skills for the job, but I also have a mental understanding that for a lot of these patients and their families, it is a tough time for them to be in the hospital. It's a hard time. So being able to comfort them and give them a little bit of help along the way is something that I will absolutely pride myself on as I become a nurse. Another thing is that my internship did for me was it just absolutely reinforced the idea of nursing to me, that I am so determined and prepared to do whatever it takes to become a nurse. So thank you for taking the time to review my application. I am so grateful for the opportunity and hope to become a dedicated student in the nursing program.